when you are absolutely clear that you don't know what happens to the movement of thought.
Yes! How are we not enlightened yet? Jeez.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
We've done so much work. We made the channel. We watch a lot of videos.
We found all of you.
We meditate sometimes, right? Good evening.
Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Welcome back to Learn With Us. We're happy you're here.
Are we?
No, we're not. We're nothing. Today, we're going to a man who we haven't visited in too long.
It's just been long enough, I'd say.
Jiddu Krishnamurti. I'm pumped. I haven't listened to him in a while.
What's the video called?
The video is called How Does One Go to the Very Source of Thought?
I also haven't listened to him in a while.
Well, this seems like a Jiddu type topic. So
Yeah.
let's
Also,
oh,
I don't know if it's just because I've been recognizing him this week or what, but my thoughts have been buzzing this week.
all
If
right.
you know what I mean.
Well, let's get to the source of them.
It's been like that. All right. Let's do it.
Whoa. Birds? Yes.
Nice. Nature, like it. Jiddu, what else do you need?
Yeah.
What is the nature, what is the source of thought? How does one go to the...
You just had nature on the mind.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the bird trip and then, oh, not nature.
What is the nature, source of thought? How does one go to the very source of thought? So there is a possibility of science in thinking process itself. It's a long question.
What did you say?
Did you say it's a dumb question? It would be on brand.
It would
So
be-
what is thinking? I'm asking you. What is thinking?
What is thinking?
What is...
He's asking us.
See, that's going to make me think. To answer the question, my brain was like, all right, let's get going. Chugga, 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 chugga.
What is thinking? I had a moment today that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like about to start doing I had like a to-do list, and I was about to start doing one of the tasks, and I just paused for a second because I was going to figure out how I could best go about doing the task.
Mm-hmm.
And right when I like kind of set that intention or whatever, like that's what I wanted to do, there was just 20 seconds of me standing there kind of like this. And like so many options of how to do the thing just flashed through my mind. And then it made me pause for a second and be like, thank you. Like that was crazy. And it is crazy how when you have one thing to do, like the ingenuity of thought is so fascinating. But I guess when I was thinking about that question, what really blew me away about that situation was that it didn't feel like... It felt like I set the intention and then all of these things just like popped up. You know?
It's like you clicked search on the search bar.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow, what the heck?
I'm just noticing that that's how it works, almost.
Yeah.
Like, you set this intention. I don't know what sets the intention, if that's also a thought, but, like, then all of a sudden it's like, brrr, imagination.
Wow.
All right.
Incredible.
Do you have an idea of what thought is, or should we just...
Like I said, Sadhguru says it's a combination of powerful memory and powerful imagination. That's what thought is. It also makes me think about, I've been noticing that thought, when I'm up in my mind thinking, it takes a tremendous amount of energy. Because I've also noticed that when I am really tired at work, I do like farming, I will try and move out of my thoughts as often as I can. I notice I definitely have more energy when I do it. But when I'm up in my thoughts, I'm like, my body feels more tired. It's like, where are you putting your energy? Yeah.
All right, let's hear it, Jiddu.
You do that all day long, right? When you go to the office, when you go to the temple, when you talk, when you are distracted by what is thinking. Oh, sir.
I like how he leaves this pot. He like really is wanting you to answer.
Yeah.
Have you ever even thought about what he's thinking? What is the movement of thought?
I just
Why do you stand so far away? Just like that was.
I was just watching a video yesterday that struck me very deeply, and beginning and end, the bookends of the video was the guy looking into the camera and saying in a different language, "The mind is mischievous." And it was so interesting because he said it at the beginning of the video. I was like, oh, cool. And it was an interview, and it was like a 30-minute video, and then at the end, again, he says, "The mind is mischievous." Stares at the camera like more intently than any other part of the video.
Whoa.
And it just like ran right through me because it's exactly what I've been feeling. Like when there's the beginnings when you start to observe your mind, and I feel like it's more of a habit for me now of just observing whatever the heck my mind does, because it goes off. It's like it is mischievous because it's trying to go under the radar, and it does for so long, and then you're like, hey, wait a second, I've been thinking for the last 30 minutes about nothing, and I'm angry now. Like,
Now you're angry.
Come on, like I got you. But then you like, it
it
drifts away, and then it's like, oh, here I come. Don't you
Yeah.
don't worry about me. It's just like comes walking back in. But it's like so fascinating when you just like can just witness that whole process happening over and over and over, and then feeling the amount of freedom that I've been able to come to with wherever I'm at in my process. It makes me wonder how much more freedom you have when you are just in full control.
Oh my god.
Full control of the mind.
Unimaginable.
Because I feel like I'm actually in control of the mind like very small percentage of the time.
Oh, same.
And it's crazy because you realize that that's just a part of you. And there's literally no external thing that is keeping you from being in control of your mind. And that is just you. That's letting your mind just run off naked, just like going crazy.
Yeah. No, I think that's why, like, when that whole like thought process happened today I was like thinking about what to do, at the end I said like thank you, because it was like that was like a tool that just like did this incredible thing. But then so much of the day, it just feels like I disappear because I'm just like fully watching a movie even when I'm doing something else.
It's that Ram Dass quote of the mind is a fantastic servant but a terrible master. And that's it. It can be a really good tool or it can control you.
We've got a lot of thoughts about thoughts.
We've got a lot of thoughts about thoughts. Jiddu's just like, he would slap us right now.
Yeah.
He would just be like, you stupid questions.
If one is asked your name, you reply instantly. There is no hesitation. Hesitation being time interval. Please just follow this for a little. When you are familiar with something, there is no activity of thought. There is instant response. You know this, the house you live in, the street you go by, that is familiarity, constant repetition as your name. There is instant response. That response has been immediate because there's been past repetition. My name is so-and-so. I've been called that name since I was a small boy, and I repeat it. And when you ask what my name is, out it comes. Then, if one asks a more complicated question, very complicated question, which is what is the distance between here and London? You hesitate, you have read about it somewhere, or you begin to inquire what's the distance. So the time interval between the question and the answer, during that interval, there is the operation of thinking. Right? That is.
This is just a cool approach.
Oh, I agree.
I'm
fully invested.
Yeah. We don't have much to say right now.
Yeah.
But I love this approach of like, what is the first thing that we can understand about thought? Like, how can you even come at it?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the first thing is that there's a difference in time.
Yeah.
Which is such an interesting...
Yeah.
Like, that would have never been something that I would have come to. Is like, that thought happens in a period of time rather than an instant response.
And that's just being like... This brings me to...
I got him.
You got me. We live together, okay? To a Sadhguru video I was watching, I think yesterday, and he was talking about yogis having like their version of the interweb, but it's just without computers.
Oh, jeez.
And it makes me think, it's like, it feels like every enlightened master has that to some capacity and can just have this steady stream of things that, like, who comes at things like this off of just like a random question that he just picked up?
Yeah.
You know?
To have that approach.
That's not... Like... He didn't have that prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just feels like cosmic knowledge just being like...
Asking somebody, reading about it, looking to me whether it's exact and so on. That is, the operation of thinking is going on, searching. Then there's the reply. That is, between the question and the answer, there is a time interval. In that time interval, there is the movement of thought. Right? Now, if one is asked a question which is for which you have no answer, which means you're not looking, you're not waiting for it to be told, You're not searching, asking. You say, I don't know. When you say, I don't know, actually I don't know, what has happened to the quality of thinking? You're following this? Please sir, do it, follow. Do it with me. When you actually say, I don't know, and you mean it, not say, well, I'll find out, I'm waiting for an answer, I'm doing this. But when you are absolutely clear that you don't know, what happens to the movement of thought? Go on, sir, tell me what happens. Oh, for God's sake. The activity of thought comes to an end for them. Which means, follow it so slowly, follow it carefully. Which means, the brain is no longer seeking, asking, searching, tentatively feeling out. It is absolutely quiet because it doesn't know. Right? Do you see this? So is your mind, is your brain ever in a state of not knowing about anything?
Oh,
Or
shit.
your brain is always full of knowledge. You follow? You're following all this? Which is your brain is occupied.
I don't know if you can see that. He just got whipped on the head.
Get a
but-
slow-mo zoom in of that.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. That was like, you know, Sadhguru has the I don't know point. Where it's like, I don't know is a tremendous possibility.
Uh-huh.
But that was almost like the advanced version.
Yeah.
It's like, let's take that another level.
Wow.
It made me think, cause one thing about I don't know that I've loved so much, that's just slowly been more and more of a thing.
It's been so powerful for both of us, I think.
Yeah. Is that it almost feels like a release in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Like it's this like tension of trying.
Right.
And then you're like, I don't know. And it's like, ah.
And you realize, like, you didn't have to know the answer all along. It's like nothing to do, nowhere to be.
But the fact that the thing that he pointed out that's so amazing is that sometimes you say, I don't know, out loud even, but you have these thoughts of knowing.
Yes.
Even though maybe you're like, I don't want those thoughts of knowing to be the truth or something, like, or like, I don't, like, maybe someone will ask me what I think about this person, and I have a judgment, but I don't want to bring that judgment out because I don't think that the judgment is helpful at all, or may be wrong. Like, I'm questioning the judgment. But then I say I don't know, but there's still this judgment.
Brilliant of him then. That didn't all connect for me until just now, of him to say that like you, and he's like, I don't mean just any I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the I don't know where you really don't know and you have nothing up here about it.
And that almost feels like another, like, I wonder what will happen when I say I don't know, have that background thing, and then notice the background thing and go into the background thing and be like, do I know? You know? And almost be like, how can you chop? Or not chop. How can you, like, get that root? Like, hit it at the root, almost. But I think that's a cool key, is that it opened up that back layer.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes. It's incredible watching him speak, because it's just like the Sadhguru says, he was able, Jiddu somehow was able to, like, I think he said, like, balance on one wheel when he was driving his car, and that's, like, basically how he did spirituality. It's like he has just, like, the sharpest knife that he cuts everything up with, but it just all, like, fits perfectly together and just, like, can point you straight somehow. It's like, wow. Yeah. Also made me think about when he was talking about anything happening in the brain is always like always answers. Made me think about where pride comes from versus, like, humbleness. Because how could you find humbleness in the brain if the brain is always looking for the answer? You know? Just something to think about. Yeah. Just where my mind went.
Stupid.
The little trickster. The little trickster himself. My little mind.
Occupied with what you are doing, how you will tell this, quarrels with your wife, husband, business, journey. That churning process, the chattering, whether it's business chattering, whether it's social gossip, whether it's physicist gossip, all of that is the act, the movement of thought. Acquiring more and more knowledge and responding from that knowledge, thought, action. And so our brain...
This has nothing to do with the video. But I just need to share.
All right.
Just the idea of freedom has been, like, when you put our banner up to begin with, the banner for our channel, it's like, freedom is only found by seekers, was what the first...
I didn't even think about that. Freedom was the first word.
Yeah. Which is sick.
Yeah.
That's the first word. And now we changed it to wanderers, or those who wander. I didn't get that at first. Like, I like the term seekers, but I didn't get where you were coming from exactly with, like, the word freedom. But it's so funny, because now that's all I can think about, because that feels like the essence of the wandering, of the seeking, whatever you want to call it, is going to freedom. And so that's been something that I've been thinking about a lot, which also makes me think of being theoretically free versus really being free every moment. Because, like, theoretically, like, if something were to come up that I felt called to do, I would be free to do it. Like, I have my priorities in a spot where I could drop it all. Like, there's the thing we were talking about earlier. Like, we could just drop it all, and, like, I feel like I'm in a spot to do that. But every moment, I don't free myself. If there's nothing going on, if there's nothing, like, calling me, like, you have to come do this, like, this is going on right now. Like, if I don't have that situation, I'm not freeing myself most of the time. Most of the time, I line up the things I'm gonna do, and every time I stick to that, I feel so trapped during and after, but I can't stop it for some reason. Sometimes it's like the easiest thing in the world not to do that. But then other times, I feel like I just totally trap myself with planning and expectation. Planning. That is a tricky one. planning?
Wow, there's a lot brought up there.
Yeah.
It brought me a lot of places.
Yeah.
Firstly, it's just funny that, like, I wrote that, like, freedom is found by those
Yeah.
who seek or whatever. We wrote that when we changed our name to Learn With Us, which was, like,
Yeah.
months ago now.
Yeah.
And I was definitely at that point, like, not, like, now I realize I had no idea what freedom meant. You know, which is just funny that you said that too.
Yeah. Neither of us knew. I was just like, we just both threw it up on the banner, like, people all like that. Cool.
Well, it's one of those things. One thing I noticed when writing poetry, rap especially,
Yeah.
so many times I'll listen back to a song like months after I wrote it, and only then understand what I wrote.
Yeah. I've noticed
You
that
know?
with my own poetry as well. And
It's
that's,
like-
that's some of the craziest stuff.
It's almost like the subconscious or whatever the thing is that is writing
Yeah.
was ahead of your actual path.
Dude, one of my teachers one time said, your poems, if you write them well, they'll be smarter than you are. Oh,
Those are
yeah.
some bars.
Yeah.
I had something else to say though, but it might have just gotten lost
Yeah, in the abyss.
in the abyss. So
If it comes back.
yeah, I'll let it go.
All right, I like that.
Is full of occupation, which is so conceived. It's only when you say, I really don't know, that's a very frightening state for most people. Because we are also vain, conceited, arrogant. We are so full of other people's knowledge. We're second-hand people. It's only the mind that brain that says, I don't know.
Did you catch that line?
No.
He goes, "We're so full of other people's knowledge, we're second-hand people."
That sounds like a rap bar.
That's
In of itself. Yeah.
Universal bar approved. Holy
Wow.
That's hard. And that brings me back to what I was gonna say earlier. Was you said like planning and expectations are like a difficult thing.
Yeah.
And planning's so difficult because making plans is so helpful.
Especially with how we do things.
Especially with how we live,
Yeah.
If like you're trying to meet up with a group of friends to play a sport. You know, you all need to be like, meet here at this time.
Yes.
So you need to plan, but then the excitement's like there because you're like, oh, tonight I'm gonna get to like do this thing with that group of friends.
Right.
But yeah, it almost feels like those two are anti-freedom,
Absolutely.
which is interesting, but makes me think about how, or combining with those lines right there, that we are second-hand people. It's almost like you are living, when you have these plans and expectations, you are living second-hand. Because you're living, like, following an expectation.
Yes.
You know, you're
Yes,
not the
yes.
thing. You're the thing analyzing, comparing to an expectation.
The craziest part is that lately there have been a bunch of times where I will have the whole plan set out and my night will go exactly as planned.
Oh.
Exactly. Like all the things that I was like, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. It bang, bang, bang happens. And I'm so bummed every time. Like, I am so bummed out every time that happens. Another thought. I have 3. I
Uh-oh.
hope we can get through all of them. 2 left. That's what that means.
Oh, okay.
Muji, in a video that I was watching, was saying that one of his practices is that he didn't call it a practice, but I feel like it's a nice practice. He doesn't make plans. He was like, people ask me like, hey, do you want to do this tomorrow? He says, I literally tell them, I don't know what I'll want to do tomorrow.
Whoa.
Like, ask me tomorrow when you want to do it. Like,
that's wild.
like literally not making plans. How crazy is that? But then leading into the third thing, I just said, this was a shower thought. Like, my hair is still wet. It was a recent, shower thought.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. My hair's still wet. That's gonna be whenever you have like a half-baked thought.
Yeah.
My hair's still wet.
Please, just like anyone who watches this video, remember that so that when we say that in the future, you get it.
Yeah.
Because that'll be awesome. My hair is still wet. Yeah, remember that. But that's so good. But I just said the way we do things with planning. Like, but that's the way that we do things.
Ooh.
But you had to look a step deeper to see what I meant versus my words. You had to hear my tone of voice. That's the way we do things. But if you look at the words, I'm just lining up with doing those things. I'm identifying with doing the things that you could hear through the tone of my voice that I'm, not so totally for that. But the words that I said were totally for that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, one, it makes you think about how you actually read someone and like all the layers that listening happens on and connection. 2, it comes back to freedom for me and the fact that you said we don't do things that way.
Yeah.
And it's like, there goes your freedom. Because now you're identified with like some we that does it a certain way.
And how often, like, so often, I feel like I'll do this and I'll see people around me doing this where it's like you'll talk about society in terms of we.
Yes.
And you'll just say the term we. It's like, in our society, we do this wrong. And it's like, well, if you're lumping yourself in with that, then you'll probably always be doing that wrong and feeling crummy about it.
And you can only lump and like segregate based on mental constructs anyway. So it's like you're already so deep in.
Yes!
Oh my. That was a ride.
How are we not enlightened yet? Jeez.
Come on.
We've done so much work. We made the channel. We watch a lot of videos.
We found all of you.
We meditate sometimes, right? Come on.
We breathe sometimes.
We breathe
hard.
Jeez.
This sucks.
Learn with us. Just in a perpetual state of learning, and you never get there. You just keep learning and learning and learning, and you're never enlightened.
One thing on that I did hear that was really cool.
Yes.
It was a talk between 2 people about Papa G, who I don't know if you've heard. Papa G, he's like also an enlightened
Baba
master.
G?
Baba G? Maybe it's Baba G.
Yeah.
Is it Papa G, Baba G? I think it's spelled Papa, but maybe it's pronounced Baba.
Yeah, I have heard lots of rumors, but it's like out here.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him directly, but this was 2 people who studied with him.
Okay.
One of them who still teaches like his style of thing, his methods.
Okay.
And the other one who left and now does a podcast, but they were friends back in like 1990 or whatever when they met this guy,
Yeah.
or 60. But anyway, the guy who like still teaches and stuff, when like was continuously going back to see this man, Babaji.
I also have heard many people call their guru Babaji, so that might be a common term.
I think it's Papa G is like this guy.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I'm not sure.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, he said that he went back like near this guy's death. He didn't know that it was near his death, but it was the last time he saw him. And when he like walked into the room, he sensed a incredible deepening in this man's experience, who was already enlightened. But he could sense that he had just like become something so much deeper. And he asked Babaji, he goes like, it seems like there's been like a massive deepening inside of you. And Babaji just looks at him and goes, well, of course. If not, this wouldn't be infinite.
That's such a cool one because you can just... There's no end to the deepening.
The fact that an enlightened being who like people travel all around the world to see is still just learning. Welcome to Learn With Us.
That's
All right.
incredible. All right, let's keep going.
You understand the beauty of this thing?
Yo, wait. Real quick, one of the coolest things happened the other day. I did not remember to respond to the comment, but I just got pumped when I looked at the screen because I was just wondering, like, who's still with us at this point?
Yeah.
Who's still riding with us at this point in the reaction?
Like 40 minutes deep.
Yeah. And just opened my phone, looked at a comment that was like, and I didn't read the whole thing, so I had to like jet and do something. But it was like, at 47:33, I disagree with what you said on the, and it just like trails off, and I was like, that's incredible. Like you were just. That just means you were just staring at it like, I disagree. Like 47 minutes in, like that is so cool.
It's a legendary fan base.
Yes.
Legendary community. It's not a fan base, it's community.
Yeah, it's not anything like the rest of YouTube.
Yeah,
which
this is special. If you're this deep in this video, you are a real one. Let's go.
And if you're not, you're still a real one.
Yeah.
Such a brain is quite brave because it's totally unoccupied. It occupies when necessary, but otherwise absolutely in a state of not knowing. You understand it? Now, thought is, the source of thought is memory. Memory is knowledge. Knowledge is experience. That's a fact. And so the source of thought is experience. Whether your experience or thousands of years of experience, which is stored up in the brain as knowledge. Therefore, thought is a material process. Matter.
Whoa.
Anything that thought creates is matter. Your gods are matter. I know you don't like that. There is nothing sacred in thought as created. It's the mind that is beyond thought, beyond time, that knows what it is to be sacred. That's it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Couple things. First of all, there's a certain thing that Jiddu does where he will turn like very still, very instantly. Like, I don't know if you noticed this. He'll close his eyes and it's like he goes really deep. You can see it. Or he'll fix his posture in a way that just makes you like, whoa. Makes me want to try like just the amount of like, I don't know the word, because it's like you could mistake it for pridefulness, but it's like uprightedness. It's just a surety in yourself and in whatever, at everything.
Yeah. And the way it's delivered, you know there's no pride.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And then what the heck did he say at the end? 'Cause I had something to say.
He was saying how oh my gosh. The whole bit that knowledge or thought is based on memory. Memory is knowledge. Knowledge is experience. Because all thought is made of experience. It is all material. It is all physical. One, that makes you think about the ideas of manifestation.
Oh.
And how thoughts are literally interacting physically. You know, so that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But also, when he then just goes, nothing about your thoughts are sacred. Because it's all material.
Oh my gosh.
You're gods.
And any time that you place a meaning on an experience as well. That's another thing that I've noticed.
Yeah.
That when you're
oh my gosh, yeah.
trying to when you're trying to think, conceptualize an experience as this was God or whatever, this was me creating this awesome thing for myself, and that was like, I must have done something right in the past to do that, or like, oh, this is a test for me, this is meant to be a test. Like, that's all, you're just stacking thoughts onto a thing, and it's all just like, that is so, you're so deep in your little perception. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's all just, it's all tangled in ego.
Yes.
You know?
Because you're just the center of it. You're like, I'm the one that's being tested right now. Even though it's just all these like things flying around you. You know? And it's like, I'm the center. I'm being tested.
Yeah,
Like,
and then when he takes that step back and goes, mind, the thing behind it all, which he's referring to as mind, which is, he said, timeless, infinite, whatever, all things, I'm guessing.
It's like saying, like, the two versions of I is what I think of. It's like there's two versions of mind.
Yeah.
There's like, then there's like the breath, and then there's the breath behind the breath that people talk about. There's the heart, then there's the heart behind the heart.
The spiritual heart.
That's something that I've been really subtly connecting with recently. Makes me also think of the Bon Iver album, I, I. I want to go a little deeper on that. See what's in there.
I or I?
Oh, jeez.
Have you guys followed that? I'm impressed, because that was silly.
That was silly.
Wow, that was amazing, is what that was.
And silly.
Actually, I guess I just put a judgment on it, didn't I?
You did, didn't you? I guess I did too, didn't I?
So let's not pretend like we know what that was.
Yep. That was.
That was awesome. No, it wasn't. I don't know.
Much love. Much love.